The rain started the same night she left him, heavy, violent, cold enough to erase promises. Luca Moretti stood outside the massive iron gates of the De Luca estate, tears mixing with rainwater as guards watched silently. Behind her, the most dangerous man in Italy stared from the mansion balcony. Luca De Luca, Mafia prince, future king of the underworld. The only man she had ever loved. "Don't do this," he said quietly when he finally stepped outside. Even soaked in rain, he looked terrifying. Black suit, blood on his knuckles, dark eyes fixed only on her. "You lied to me," Sophia whispered. "I protected you. You kill people." His jaw tightened. "They would have killed you first." But Sophia shook her head, because loving Luca felt like standing too close to fire. Warm, addictive, deadly, and she was tired of burning, so she left. That night shattered both of them. Years passed. People feared Luca De Luca now, not prince, boss, the most ruthless mafia leader in Europe. Men disappeared for disrespecting him. Entire families vanished after betrayal. And yet, he never touched another woman seriously, because some obsessions never die. Then one evening, everything changed. Luca was walking through his private casino when he froze. Sophia, standing near the roulette tables in a black dress, still beautiful, still dangerous to his sanity. But she wasn't alone. A tall man stood beside her protectively, hand resting lightly against her waist. Luca's expression darkened instantly. "Who is he?" he asked calmly. But calm from Luca De Luca was never safe. His bodyguard swallowed. "His name is Adrian Kane." Sophia looked up. Their eyes met, and suddenly the entire casino felt too small. Her breath caught, because Luca still looked at her the same way, like she belonged to him. Adrian noticed the tension immediately. "You know him?" Adrian asked softly. Before Sophia could answer, Luca walked over. Slow, controlled, predatory. Every person nearby quietly moved away. "I was wondering when you'd come back to me," Luca said. Sophia's heart stumbled. "I didn't come back for you." His eyes moved to Adrian. "Then why is he touching what's mine?" Adrian stepped forward instantly. "She's not property." Luca smiled. A dangerous smile. "No," he said softly. "She's my weakness." The tension became unbearable. Sophia quickly grabbed Adrian's arm. "We're leaving." But Luca's voice stopped her. "You always run when you're scared." She turned sharply. "I'm not scared of you anymore." The lie hung heavily between them, because Luca knew her too well. That night, Luca followed them. Not openly, silently, like a wolf watching from shadows. The next morning, Sophia discovered flowers outside her apartment. No note, just white roses, her favorite. Adrian frowned immediately. "You didn't tell him where you live?" "I didn't." Across the street, inside a black car, Luca watched her through tinted windows. Expression unreadable. One of his men leaned closer. "Should we deal with the boyfriend?" Luca's gaze never left Sophia. Not yet. Days passed. Everywhere Sophia went, Luca appeared. Restaurant reservations mysteriously canceled. Dates interrupted. Threats handled before they reached her. One night, a drunk man grabbed Sophia outside a club. Before Adrian could react, the man suddenly disappeared, dragged screaming into a black SUV. Luca stepped from the shadows, adjusting his cuffs calmly. "You shouldn't walk alone." Sophia stared at him in horror. "What did you do to him?" "He touched you." "That's not an answer." Luca stepped closer. "It is in my world." Her pulse quickened instantly, because despite everything, being near him still affected her. Still ruined her. Adrian hated it. He saw the way Luca looked at her, the way Sophia unconsciously breathed differently around him, and Adrian became increasingly desperate. Controlling. Obsessive. One night, Sophia woke up and found Adrian searching through her phone. "What are you doing?" He immediately smiled. Nothing. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then came the truth. Sophia entered Adrian's office unexpectedly one evening and froze. Files. Photos. Maps. Everything connected to the DeLuca empire. Her stomach dropped. What is this? Adrian turned slowly. No softness in his eyes anymore. Only calculation. You weren't supposed to see that. Fear crawled down her spine. You used me? Adrian sighed. Do you know how impossible it is? Getting close to Luca DeLuca? Her hands trembled. You said you loved me. I do. But his smile chilled her blood. Just not enough to stop. Then she realized something worse. Adrian had never protected her from Luca. He had hidden behind her. Used her. Suddenly she heard clapping behind them. Slow. Mocking. Both turned. Luca stood at the doorway, deadly calms, several armed men behind him. I warned you, Luca said quietly. Adrian instantly pulled out a gun and grabbed Sophia. Everything exploded into chaos. Guards shouting, weapons raised. Sophia gasped as Adrian held the gun against her throat. She's the only reason you haven't killed me yet, Adrian snapped. Luca's face became terrifyingly still. Let her go. You think I'm stupid? Luca stepped closer anyway. Every movement calm. Controlled. But you are dead already. Adrian panicked and pulled Sophia harder. Then, a gunshot. Blood splattered across the floor. Adrian collapsed instantly. One of Luca's snipers. Sophia screamed. The room spun violently. Then Luca reached her. Strong hands pulling her against him protectively. It's over, he whispered. But Sophia shoved him away. Tears streaming. You don't get to save me after destroying my life. For the first time, Luca looked hurt. Real hurt. I destroyed myself too. Silence. Heavy. Painful. Then he said quietly, Do you know why I never came after you? She said nothing. Because if you hated me, his voice cracked slightly. At least you were alive. Sophia stared at him and suddenly remembered every hidden softness he thought she'd never noticed. The way he checked doors twice before she slept. The way he memorized her coffee order. The way he looked at her like losing her would kill him. Maybe it already had. Luca stepped closer carefully. If loving me still scares you, leave again. His eyes locked onto hers, but this time don't lie and say you don't love me too. Her breath trembled, because after all these years, she still did. And Luca knew it. He always knew. Slowly, Sophia reached for him, and the most feared mafia boss in Europe closed his eyes like a man finally coming home. Outside, rain began falling again, just like the night she left. Except this time, she stayed. 3 weeks after Adrian's death, Sophia still couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw blood on the floor, saw Luca standing there with that cold expression, saw how quickly violence followed him, and somehow, she had moved into his penthouse anyway. Temporary, that's what she kept telling herself. Temporary protection. Nothing more. But living with Luca DeLuca was dangerous in ways that had nothing to do with guns, because the man knew exactly how to unravel her. It started with small things. Coffee already made the way she liked. A blanket draped over her shoulders when she fell asleep on the couch. His hand resting against her lower back whenever crowds got too close. Possessive. Protective. Intimate. And Sophia hated how much she missed it. One night, she walked into the kitchen, unable to sleep. Luca stood there in gray sweatpants and a black t-shirt, pouring whiskey into a glass. Her heart immediately betrayed her. He looked up slowly. You should be asleep. You should stop acting like whiskey counts as dinner. A faint smirk touched his mouth. God, that smirk used to destroy her. You still worry about me? I still have common sense. He walked closer. Too close. You always did lie badly. The tension thickened instantly. Sophia crossed her arms. You think one near-death experience suddenly fixes everything between us? No. His voice dropped lower, but it reminds people what they can lose. Her pulse quickened, because Luca looked at her like a starving man, remembering his favorite sin. Then suddenly, the penthouse alarms went off. Red lights flashed. Luca's expression changed instantly. Cold. Deadly. Stay here. But Sophia grabbed his arm. What's happening? One of his men rushed in. There's been a breach downstairs? Luca immediately pulled a gun from behind his back. Sophia's stomach twisted. No matter how soft he became around her, this was still who he was. A king built from violence. Luca looked at her carefully. Lock the bedroom door. No. His jaw tightened. Sophia, I'm tired of being hidden away while people try to kill us. A dangerous silence filled the room. Then Luca stepped closer and pressed a second gun into her hands. Heavy. Cold. Her eyes widened. You remember how to use it? I remember everything you taught me. His gaze darkened slightly, and for one reckless second, he looked proud. Gunfire suddenly echoed downstairs. Luca instantly moved in front of her protectively. Always in front. Always shielding her first. They moved through the penthouse together carefully while guards searched the lower floors. Then Sophia noticed something strange. The attackers weren't trying to steal anything. They were heading directly toward Luca's office. They're looking for something, she whispered. Luca's expression hardened. Suddenly, a masked man appeared from the hallway, gun raised. Everything happened fast. The man fired. Luca shoved Sophia sideways violently. The bullet shattered glass behind them. Before Sophia could breathe, Luca shot the attacker twice. The body hit the floor. Silence. Heavy silence. Sophia stared at Luca in shock. His breathing rough. Gun still raised. Blood splattered across his sleeve. Then he turned to her immediately. Are you hurt? Not. Did you see that? Not. Are you scared? Just. Are you hurt? And somehow, that affected her more than the shooting itself. She shook her head slowly. Luca exhaled in relief. Then suddenly, Sophia noticed blood dripping from his side. Her eyes widened. You're bleeding. It's nothing. It's not nothing. He'd been grazed by the bullet. Without thinking, Sophia grabbed his hand and dragged him upstairs. Back to the bedroom. The same bedroom they once shared years ago. The memory hit both of them instantly. Luca sat on the edge of the bed while Sophia cleaned the wound carefully. Neither spoke for a while. The silence became intimate. Dangerously intimate. You still shake when you're angry, Luca murmured. She looked up sharply. You still notice everything about me? His eyes held hers. I always will. Her breath caught. Because that was the problem. No matter how much time passed, they still belonged to each other in ways that made no sense. Sophia finished wrapping the bandage. You could have died tonight. Luca gave a small shrug. I've almost died before. That doesn't make it okay. His gaze softened slightly. You're shaking. I almost watched you get shot. The emotion escaped before she could stop it. Luca went still. Very still. Then slowly, he reached up and brushed his knuckles against her cheek. Gentle. I'm here. That softness ruined her. Because monsters weren't supposed to touch people like that. Sophia should have moved away. Instead, she leaned into his hand. Luca's breathing changed instantly. Lower. Heavier. The room suddenly felt too warm. You keep looking at me like you're trying not to kiss me, he said quietly. Sophia's pulse exploded. You're impossible. But I'm right. He stood slowly, towering over her now, every inch of space between them filled with history, pain, love, obsession. You left me, Luca said softly. And somehow you still became the only place that ever felt like home. Sophia's eyes burned. Luca, I tried to hate you. His forehead rested against hers. But every woman after you just reminded me they weren't you. That broke whatever was left of her resistance. Sophia kissed him first. Hard, desperate, years of tension collapsing at once. Luca made a low sound against her mouth before pulling her closer instantly, like he'd been starving. His hands gripped her waist possessively. The kiss became dangerous fast, messy, emotional, addictive, and Sophia remembered immediately why loving him had once consumed her whole life. Luca pulled back slightly, breathing hard. If we do this again, his thumb brushed her swollen lips. I won't survive losing you twice. Her heart cracked quietly, because beneath all the power, all the violence, all the fear, Luca loved her with terrifying sincerity. Then suddenly, a phone rang downstairs. Luca's expression darkened immediately. He answered. Silence. Then his face became lethal. What happened? Sophia asked. Luca looked at her carefully. One of the attackers survived. And? He said someone inside my organization hired them. Sophia's stomach dropped. A traitor. Inside Luca's empire. Which meant the danger wasn't over. And judging by Luca's expression, whoever betrayed him was about to start a war.